infusible ink cosmetic bags from Cricut. Add those to your cart. And we're going to make, I'm just going to do the large one today. So I'm going to set those off to the side. And because I'm going to a wedding and I need something to put my makeup in on my trip. So I'm using the pattern from the top. This is this one that has the different colors in it, has a lot of splatter. And here's your pink. And they look kind of dull, but they're going to brighten up once you press them like this. So it's super curly when you get this. It's really super curly. And so it's going to be hard for you to put on your mat like this. It's going to keep curling on you. If you go this way and then kind of push in with your thumbs just slightly in the middle, that's going to help you straighten that out and place it down on your mat much, much, much easier. So make sure you're doing that. And your butcher paper comes in there. You're probably going to need some white cardstock and things like that. We're going to get out our Easy Press 3 and press this for you. Make sure you have a lint roller because you want to lint roll your item prior to placing your ink on there, because anywhere that there's any lint, any hair, any puppy hairs, anything like that, once that puppy hair comes off of there, if you don't get it off before you put your ink, it's going to leave a place where there is no ink. And it's going to mess up your design. So make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you've got the zipper going the way that you want it so that you can, or you can do both sides, I guess. So I'm going to do mine with my zipper to the left, and we're going to send this over and we're going to cut it and come back. And I got a special treat for you on this one. Okay, so I am back and we have done our infusible ink cut, and I cut a small piece of this cherry iron-on. I'm going to show you guys that you can layer on your infusible ink. So we're just going to pull that off the mat. And I am going to trim, there's my scissors. I am going to trim down my infusible ink so that I can use this larger piece for another image later. I'm going to put that back off to the side. And now when you pull this off the mat, you want to roll this back the other way. And you might hear some cracking and creaking, and that's good. And I roll mine even yet the other way as well. Get it to break those lines apart. And then we're going to weed it. And I find that it's really easy just to get it started. Pull out all of that excess. And then I am removing the letters from the inside here. It's pretty easy to weed. If it's not weeding easily, I'll always do a test cut. You may need a new blade. You may need to do another cut, and you can simply check it. And if you feel like it's not going to weed well, then don't unload your mat and just hit cut a second time. But always try to do a test cut prior to cutting your infusible ink. And all those counters just stay right where they're at. Center of your letters or counters, you want to leave those in. And I forgot what I was saying. Just make sure that you do a test cut prior. Just do a little, because you can see that I pulled this off. So you could do a little star up in the corner and put it on a separate mat, totally make it a different color so it cuts on a different mat, and test cut. See if that star cuts so you'll know. And then you can just leave your paper on the mat and put it in there, because that's not used anyway. And that test cut's not going to affect anything. So test cut a small star up in that corner. And then once it's cut that star and you know what setting and how you're going to have to cut your ink, then cut your project. That way you're not losing and destroying your expensive ink. So we're going to place this down. Now I have already lint rolled this. And I am going to get that right in here. And I had rather it be closer to the bottom and avoid that zipper area with my press so that I know I've got a good flat press. But if you want to move yours dead center, you can do yours dead center. Let's see. It looks great. I'm going to use my grid there at the top and make sure it's straight, though I don't want to put it, well, crooked wouldn't be bad either. Whatever you like. I kind of like it skewed to the side. I'll go straight. Let's see. That looks pretty good. And I'm just judging that top grid line there and making sure that it looks pretty even all the way across the same amount of space. This is a step that I like to do. I'm using a couple of pieces of my strong grip Cricut heat transfer tape, or heat tape, I should say, just to make sure that it's not going to move on me. I don't want it to shift. Okay, that heat tape's not going to hurt anything. All right, so let me get the press out and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my press out and I am on my Cricut Heat app. I'm using the Cricut Easy Press 3. This is the 9x9. And I'm selecting my press and I'm going to start a new project. And then it wants me to select my transfer material. So I am going to come down here and select Infusible ink sheet. Then it wants me to choose my blank and I'm going to select the cosmetic bag. And it says, warning, infusible ink transfers are not recommended without a Cricut Easy Press mat. That is this mat. So we want to have that here to do our project on. And so I have that and we want to hit next. And it's telling me to preheat my blank for 15 seconds, which I already did prior to putting my transfer on over on my other press, just for time purposes of the video. So we'll preheat your blank for 15 seconds and then you're going to press for 60 seconds and it's going to be a cool peel. And if you need detailed instructions, if you're using that app, you can click there and it shows you everything. It tells you everything that you're going to need. And so I can send this to the, send this over to my Easy Press and it will heat up to that temp. Now it's heated up to 380. I'm going to send that over here in just a second and then we're going to let it cool down. What it's telling you is there's a tutorial here. You'll want to put do your lint free, which we did. And I used my heat resistant tape and they recommended it as well for this project. So make sure you're adding some of that to your cart. The Cricut pressing mat, which I have. And then it wants a piece of white cardstock or 4 layers of butcher paper inside the cosmetic bag. So we're going to unzip that. And I have a scrap here. And it's a little long. So let me lay that down. And I'm going to work that right inside that bag. And I want to press it down, make sure that it covers side to side and I can feel it in there. It's good. So now I have that inside the cosmetic bag. Let's see. You want to put your design face down, and that's why I said mirror so that makeup wouldn't be backwards. You'll put your ink on your mat with the grid to the mat, pretty side up. You're going to cut it, but you're going to mirror just like iron on. And then when we flip it over, then it will read correctly. All right. And that's typical with most all iron on. Not all, but most. And then we're going to, let's see, we need our butcher paper on the top, which came in our pack. And this is just to protect your machine. Never press any kind of sublimation ink or any kind of infusible ink without protecting your platen. This is the platen. If you get infusible ink ghosted on there, it will ghost onto every project you do after that, probably forever. It will always leave that impression. So make sure that you are protecting it. So I'm just going to double protect mine. If there's no ink that comes out on your butcher paper, you can reuse it, or you can get the bulk roll over at Cricut. But make sure that you are protecting your platen. So now I'm going to send this over to my press, and I'm going to pause while it cools down because I did have it set to 400 and it doesn't need that for the cosmetic bag. So I'm going to click out of detailed instructions. I'm going to send that over to the press, and now it is going to send everything over, even including the 15-second pre-press, which I'm going to skip because I've already pre-pressed over on my other press, and that's to get the moisture out of your bag. Okay, you don't want any moisture in that item that you're pressing on. And then we'll come back and we'll press this. That was so super fast. I could have probably just left you guys here on the video with me. So now I want to make sure that when I press this, that I don't have my zipper interfering. And we are going to skip, because you can skip your pre-press. I'm going to skip that. And now I want to do 60 seconds and apply light pressure. And my app is going to count everything down for me. All I'm going to do is press my start button. So let's get this over on. My paper wants to curl up. See if I can't smooth that down a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. And now I'm going to bring my press over and hit that go button, and we're good to go. And I'm going to make sure that covering my project, I'm out of the way of the zipper. Looks like I'm good on that side. That side's covered. I think we're good. So it's counting down. I will probably speed through this just so you don't have to sit here for 40 seconds and watch me hold this. So now it has pressed, and we are going to let that cool. We're not going to touch it. You see how you may not be able to see it, but mine has just kind of kicked up off of the edge since it's been pressed. And I don't want to disturb that because I'll get a ghosting, and we don't want that. And I'm just going to check my butcher paper. I see a little bit of ink on this, so that one goes in the trash. My top one doesn't have anything on it. And I don't know if that was just a mark from something else or if it was from the ink. I don't think it was from the ink, but just in case, I want to be safe rather than sorry. And then I am going to go over while this is cooling because it wants me to cool peel. I'm going to hit done. And now we're going to start a new project. And I am going to select my material, and I'm going to do everyday iron on. And let's go to my Cricut blanks. I'm going to go to my cosmetic bag and say next. And now this is going to press at 315 for 30 seconds. I don't need to preheat because we just heated it for a second time. And I think it's good. It says flip and press 15 seconds. So I'm not going to flip and press because I have infusible ink on there, but I am going to press it maybe 35 seconds or so from the top. So I am going to send this over to my settings so that my press can begin its cool down for this piece. Now this piece is from the Everyday Iron On. This is the cherry that was in that box. And I cut my blank just a little bit big and a little place there too. But that's okay. I'd rather have some stick when I'm doing this so that I can hold this piece down. And we're just going to weed this. You cut this pretty side to the mat, dull side up, shiny to the mat. All right. And then we're just going to weed out the unwanted areas. Okay. I think I got everything. I had to get closer to my bright 360 so I could see my weeding lines. Don't you know if I got them all? I have one more teeny tiny. Okay. Yay, I got it done. So I'm going to feel that, and it feels cool, and I'm just going to lift that off. Look how gorgeous that is. And it took a lot of that ink. It's so pretty. Okay, and my press has just steamed, and I am going to place this. I think I want to put it right here. Don't know. Let's see. That's cute too. I think I'm going to put it right there. So I'm going to place that there. Now, because I'm putting this on there, even though that this is infusible ink and it's there, you need to protect your machine. So I'm going to take that butcher paper and I'm going to place it. There's a slick side and a rougher side. I'm putting that rougher side down. And I am also going to get, just to be doubly sure, a piece of cardstock, okay? And I'm going to place that right over the top of it. And like I said, I'm going to press for extra time because of this. So I'm just going to hit my go button and it's going to do that preheat. I'm fine with that to give it that few extra seconds. And then I'm going to hit my go button and do probably about 35 more seconds just to press that on there. You want to make sure that you protect whenever you're laying on top of your infusible ink, that you protect your platen just like you were pressing a fresh piece of infusible ink. Okay, that is super important, guys. I can't stress that enough. Do not mess up your machine because it will ruin your press if you do not protect it from the ink. I'm just going to say a few more seconds here. That is when you're supposed to flip it and do the back, but because we're doing infusible ink, I don't want to put that ink onto my pressing mat. So I'm just going to give it the few extra seconds to the front because I have that cardstock layer and things like that as well, which will absorb a lot of the heat. So I'm just going to pull that off. And it may not show on camera, but I can see the pink on that. So if I hadn't protected that pink would be, and I've got a little bit of the blue up here too, that pink would be, you might be able to see it there at that angle. You can see right there, that is ink. That would have been on this press and it would have transferred to other things. I'm going to throw this away. I don't want a chance reusing it. Okay. And this is a cool peel also. So I'm going to pull this liner out just so it will cool off a little bit quicker. And I didn't really, doesn't look like any of the ink went through, but that's just in case. You never know. I'm going to let that cool off. How stinking cute is this? It's gorgeous. I love it. Love it. Guys, grab this mystery box and you'll be able to recreate this. I'm going to give you the link down below to this file and we're going to peel that off. Super cute. Loving it. You guys have a wonderful day. Happy crafting. Grab that mystery box. I appreciate you shopping my links down below. It does earn me a small commission. I am not paid to make videos or do any of this. Cricut is kind enough to send me the boxes so that I can show you how to use some of those materials out of it. Thank you, Cricut, for that. And thank you guys for shopping with me. Happy crafting.